Welcome on Word Out Community Channel. This is Emma. I'm here at the Jennifer Switzerland, and I've really enjoyed the CRCP forum. This forum was very important and brought many people from different parts of the world. This shows mostly about refugees and immigrants, displaced people in the world, and this covers the entire world. Today, I have a very respected person on my show. Is from Uganda. I'm so excited that I was able to meet someone representing Uganda, or government of Uganda, in Geneva, Switzerland. So you are most welcome. So happy to have you on the show.
Thank you, Emma.
Yeah. So tell us about yourself and what you do.
My name is Douglas Asiimwe. I am the acting commissioner for refugees in the office of the Prime Minister, Uganda government, and my role is to look after refugees and take care of them and coordinate with many other players in that sector, the UNHCR, the national NGOs and international NGOs to provide care and humanitarian assistance to refugees in Uganda. So my role basically is a coordination role and administration of the refugee program on behalf of the government of Uganda.
It's good to have you in this program, and to support refugees is a very important thing. You're playing a very big role in the lives of people. So tell us about the capacity that Uganda is holding in terms of refugees.
Currently, as of May, we have this week actually results for refugees have been released for the last month, and then we have 1.68 million refugees, almost close to 1.7. In the last 1 month alone, we have received slightly over 15,000 new refugees, new arrivals in 1 month, 15,000. If I looked at January to date, we have received over 67,000 refugees. In the last 2 years, we've received over 300,000 refugees. This is huge and creates a lot of challenges to us as people in charge, and to the government, to the host community. But overall, we continue our open door refugee policy, because our refugee policy is led by a humanitarian ideology of Pan-Africanism. Pan-African ideology, I believe you could have heard of it, Ubuntu. We look at refugees as our fellow human beings who are running away from danger. Where else would they go? We are neighbors to most of these groups of people who are free. We're an island of peace in the middle of a turbulent region. So our open door refugee policy, of course propagated by our leader, our president, and the government, is based on the Pan-African ideology, looking at people as fellow human beings, as our brothers and sisters. And that, even with nothing, they have to come in. First of all, we have to save a life. These are people running away from conflict areas where their lives are at risk. So we first admit, then the other efforts of coordination of what gets what can come later.
Come later. Where are most of these refugees coming from? Like you said, neighboring countries.
We have actually not only neighboring countries, but the majority, of course, are from neighboring countries like South Sudan. We have DRC. We have now currently more inflows from Sudan. And then we have quite a significant number of arrivals from Eritrea, a few from Ethiopia, and some other places even far, who hear that Uganda is a good place and they want to come and seek asylum, from Pakistan, from Afghanistan. We have some Syrians, we have Yemenis, and other small groups from Chad, from Central African Republic. So it goes beyond, although the numbers may not be very huge like those who are around us, but we continue to get people coming in to seek asylum, and even from far, and you ask and say, no, we heard Uganda is a good place for asylum.
Yeah.
So, and then we have to do status determination processes to establish all that and profile. And quite many have been granted asylum because some of the areas also they are coming from are really not at peace.
Oh, thank you, thank you. That was really good, and this also leads me to next question. As a Ugandan, I'm extremely proud for the fact that Uganda is one of the country holding biggest population of refugees in Africa. That's so important. So, what are the challenges that Uganda, your government, facing in terms of having this high population of refugees in the country?
First of all, the funding for humanitarian interventions, I think, to UNHCR has been dwindling over the last few years, and it's worse this year, and we don't know what next year will be. The UNHCR, which is the funding agency also from donors, they receive money, UNHCR, and fund implementing partners to do all these social services, education, health, and so on. And WFP, who handles the food basket, their funding levels this year are very bad. Like food rations are at 30%. You can imagine, from 60-70% to 30%. That means that possibly people can afford to have maybe not even 1 meal a day. So they have to work around themselves to supplement what rations are given, and that has an implication because they have to really work hard to survive. We have all other services affected, the healthcare systems, the medicine, the health workers being reduced, some outpost health centers closed. In order to remain within what is available, so social services to refugees. So the funding is in a critical situation, but we continue all sorts of innovative ways to make sure that people continue to survive. As government, we coordinate all these efforts to see efficiency, to see proper use of resources which come from donors, to ensure that those who receive it put it in good use, especially the partners. And also we give our own contribution in whatever way we can. For example, the government has been giving land to people to settle. So because of the numbers, also the land has reduced where refugees live, refugee settlements.
In Uganda, which region are they?
Then West Nile, we have them in the southwest, in the Midwest, and we also have urban refugees who are in Kampala and other towns. Those who basically sometimes they have some work and can fend themselves.
Yeah.
But majorly those in the settlements, that's where humanitarian assistance is channeled. But it's not enough. So it's a challenge. We've been working hard with UNHCR, who are also facing financial crisis across the globe. It's not only Uganda, but I think there are many conflict spots all over the world that need attention of the same traditional donors, of UNHCR, and fundraising. So the resource basket seems small, but also some donors have possibly not given money to UNHCR enough to continue as it were. But we remain positive, we remain hopeful. The most important thing is that people have fled and they are at peace. I've met refugees. One lady told me one day in a reception center after crossing from DRS and said, "Oh, last night, the first night in a very long time that I have slept a sound sleep, not worried, and not had gunshots." And that alone, even without food, was amazing. Peace is the cornerstone of our protection. Yeah.
Speaking of resources, I know resources is always so limited. What role is Ugandan government playing to ensure the most vulnerable population is protected, such as elders, children, refugees with chronic medical conditions, people with disability, and also LGBTQ plus, who have flew from different countries coming for protection in Uganda. How are you ensuring that those people are protected?
I think 81% of our refugee population are women and children.
Okay.
81%. We have 51% who are women and men. We have over 29% who are youth, and so on. We have this categorization, and I think this, even the disabled and so on. But I think different specific interventions, including people with special needs, disabled people, extremely vulnerable individuals. All these categorizations need attention, need resources. So when the resources are not there to capacitate them or give them special care and attention, that's a challenge. But we continue. We have all these sector working groups which we coordinate as government and UNHCR to ensure that we do as much as we can to ensure that we continue to protect with even the little resources that may be coming in. On the question of you ask LGBT, we don't see a lot of this, by the way, in our societies. Traditionally, LGBTs, they may be there. In African states, sometimes you don't even see them. But it's not the outlook of what we hear in Europe. People saying LGBT Uganda. No. LGBT, even the law we passed, the government passed, and the parliament, is not about running after LGBTs. No. The law is to protect. It's to protect children. It's protect, guard against recruitment and so on. Within the humanitarian refugee context, you will not hear that these are issues that we are grappling with. No. And if they appear in terms of people with those specific cases, maybe from countries where they come from, I think UNHCR will always give them space to deal with them under the statute of UNHCR mandate. So, and many have been attended to and protected and even resettled to other countries.
Thank you very much. As I finalize this, I have, I think, one more question. How does your government ensure equitable distributions of resources? Has been there any fraud or mismanagement of resources or funds that you're given by states?
Uganda government is not given funds by states, not at all. The donor funding is channeled to UNHCR and international organizations or local NGOs. We don't handle refugee funds, if I may put it that way, as government.
Yeah.
So I'm not the one who distributes fundings. And I think UNHCR and partners have very solid mechanism of ensuring that resources are efficiently used to reach the beneficiaries. But of course, I think the bigger challenge now is where are the resources? If they were funded at 50% last year, more or less almost, I think they have not gone up above 50% of the country response requirements for the last 2-3 years. And it keeps going down. Possibly now they are at 35%. I think really that's, for me, very, very critical. And it has caused us a lot of challenges. It has caused the refugees challenges themselves. We see some of them even trying to return to situations which are not yet peaceful. And then they come back. of what we have now even come to call a lot of pendulum movements, because home is best. So somebody may even decide, let me return to Congo and die at home, when even Congo is not peaceful. Maybe that area where he comes from has been relatively peaceful for the last 2 months. And he goes back after 1 week, there's an attack there, and he comes back. So that shows the precarious situation of how some of these people are finding themselves. So resources, without resources, our ideology, our Pan-Africanism, our Ubuntu is very important. But we call upon the international community under the Refugee Compact, Global Refugee Compact, and the principles of burden sharing, international responsibility and burden sharing. We can't carry this burden alone. Refugees is not a Ugandan problem, it's an international problem. They are members of they've signed up to the convention, they've signed up to all these frameworks. They need to come in and support the refugees who are in Uganda. And this has been very important discussions. One of the durable solutions, the 3 durable solutions to refugees. One is voluntary repatriation. That avenue for repatriation is not yet forthcoming in most situations. Local integration prospects are also a little bit minimal. It depends on certain countries, but in our country we have peaceful coexistence and local integration, but not the legal integration where people become citizens and so on. So resettlement and other complementary pathways that were being discussed in the last few days remains also one of the key important game changers in some of these protracted refugee situations.
Thank you very much. Based on the CRCP that you have engaged, I've seen your speech was so wonderful, and I appreciate that. What is the hope?
The numbers of allocations for resettlement, specifically for Uganda, and are little going up. I think every year, I think Canada, the US has given quite a sizable number. I think about 5,000 this year for resettlement. Canada.
I mean, Canada has given Uganda.
Canada has also allocated, I think, some numbers, and when you combine Canada alone with the private sponsorship and resettlement through UNHCR, I think they're talking about almost 9,000 people
to be resettled.
This year alone, plus others, Sweden, Norway, and others who take. Australia is coming in like 200. They may look small, but they are significant in a way, because, like I said, it's a game changer in terms of durable solutions, first of all, but also a game changer in terms of individual lives of those who may have been resettled for the now and the future to come.
Thank you very much. It was nice having you on our show, and I'm disappointed you did not bring for us Matoke.
Thank you. Next time.
Next
in
time.
Spain.
In Spain. Yeah. You should carry Matoke for us. I think
Alright,
that's one thing.
Thank you.